Welcome to Picture Book Chat, where we feature a handful of new picture books each month and discuss what makes them great. Whether you're a parent, caregiver, or teacher, you're bound to find some wonderful reading suggestions from librarians Mary Ellen Brax and Sheri Boggs.
Hi, welcome to Picture Book Chat. I'm Mary Ellen, and with me is
Sheri Boggs.
And we're here to talk about picture books. So we have some fun ones this week, a little bit different.
This is a nonfiction episode of Picture Book Chat.
Yes. So usually we sprinkle a nonfiction in here or there, but this time we had four really good
They all
ones.
happen to be ready at the same time and just happen to be nonfiction.
Yes.
So our first book that we're going to talk about is all about patterns. And this immediately appealed to me as a buyer because it's so hard to find good books that talk about patterns and what those are, that are also age appropriate.
Right.
Like I've seen some that are almost too complicated, like or too busy in talking about patterns. And this one, I like that it kind of goes outside the box, because it talks about, patterns being a repeating thing, and it demonstrates with Legos, candy, like seed pods, pretzels.
Yeah.
So right away you can see that this is something you could practice with at home with different household objects. Here's some art projects, and it doesn't point it out, but you can look at the wallpaper, the floor. It's just like the whole thing is full of patterns. You can find patterns everywhere and make patterns with almost anything. So I love that it takes it out into nature. It's not just a man-made environment. I love the ripples of the water around the dog there, the pine cones. The other thing that I just love about this is how big and bold the illustrations are.
Yes.
I feel like this would be a good read aloud because it's so easy to see the images from across a room. Like it's very close up. It gets into movement. It talks about seeing patterns from far away and then close up. And then this page I thought was really interesting. Let me get to it. We go through music. They talk about patterns kind of in terms of how time passes during a day, like that you have your routines.
Yeah.
You might notice a pattern to your day. It helps you know what happens next and when your favorite part is coming. And then on this page, sometimes when you break a pattern, everything feels chaotic and like you realize there's a new baby in the household. And that can be hard. Like all of a sudden things don't go the way that they usually do. I love that she's got like another book by this author that she's waiting for someone to read to her, and the mom is busy with the baby. But then it kind of resumes like they find a new pattern and things kind of go back to normal. So it's such a smart book, and I just think it's really beautifully done. What did you think about this one?
I love this one too, and I loved it for all the reasons that you mentioned here. But this is something that we talk about in early math. But one thing to remember is that when you're practicing patterns, that's also practicing literacy, because reading is a pattern that you have to decode. So
that's brilliant.
So it's something just to keep in the back of your mind there. And I love that they included the art, because a lot of times for young children, it can be very artistic. I love when a child suddenly sees that, hey, look at this, look at what I've made, and they've repeated a same pattern. And so this is something that you can use with beads. We do that a lot in our story times. This would be a great story time book too.
Oh, nice.
But like, I love the page with the food where you can see some food, but that's something you could do if they have pretzels and popcorn. They can make their pattern and then eat it up. What are you going to eat first? What are you going to eat next? And things like
I noticed cereal was in there too. That would be a good one.
Yeah, Cheerios and little checks, and that would be a lot of fun. They even put in candy here. And of course, Legos work perfectly, blocks, things like that, that you can work on patterning and have them repeat it
Yeah.
and follow you afterwards is a great activity. So I think this would be a great one if you were talking about patterns in your classrooms, your early classrooms, from preschool to um, kindergarten, first grade. I think this would be a good one to use there for that
Okay.
purpose. Even though the language is simple, for maybe K1, it's going to, they can point out the patterns. You can get a lot of interaction from the kids with that. So yes, I was like you. It's hard to find really good math books
Yeah.
and that are at that lower level, and that it's nonfiction is really good too, because that's one thing we want to practice with our kiddos on is introducing nonfiction early, so
Yeah.
that when they get to that point in school where they're reading nonfiction, it's easier for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a whole new area of the library to explore. Like
Right.
these are in a different section than the other picture books, but
Right.
they're what's called like an informational picture book. And we shelve those in nonfiction because sometimes people will come in and say, I want a book about patterns
Right.
or whatever. So we want those things all to be together, but it's like a whole new world of picture books for people to discover.
Yes. So yeah, yes, I would recommend this one.
Yeah. So what do you think about preschool with this? Would that be
Yeah,
too young?
no,
Or no?
I think it would be
work?
perfect
Okay.
for preschool if you're introducing. It's great to introduce patterns at preschool. We talk about that a lot in early math.
Yeah.
And so that patterning is just a beginning
Yeah.
to a lot of other math concepts.
So cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you liked this one.
Yeah.
I was excited when I saw it. So that's all about patterns, and you can scan that code on the back and check it out.
Yes.
All right. So what's next, Mary Ellen?
Oh, the next one we have is really kind of an interesting book. This is How a Ball Rolls, The Science of Wobbling, Bouncing, Spinning Balls. So this one, there's all sorts of different types of round objects on the front. I realized they weren't all balls. You see some yarn here. You have like a little picture with a guy peeking through that's in a circle. But really, there's a lot about science and physics in this. And it's kind of a guessing thing as to what type of ball they're talking about. So there's a little ball, a teeny ball, a glass, smooth, and swirly ball. So as an adult, you might know right away, but as a child, you may not. So they go in, there's a lot of great vocabulary in this one. Clinking, plinking, bumping ball, fill your pocket, lots of balls, collecting, trading, rolling, naming, sorting, entertaining ball. And then they talk about it's a marble. So there's lots to look at on the pages. So this would be a great one for a small group, or if you wanted to read just, one section at a time. And then they give you information about that certain ball. So it's a marble, and aim and shoot. Marbles are a hoot. And then they go into how you use them. And then they say, but there's another ball, a bigger ball, a hopping, bouncing ricochet ball. And so this one, I was like, what is that? But it's a bouncy ball, those little hard bouncy balls. So
great.
just really interesting. And so there's a lot of science in here about how that particular ball works when you play with it. So they've got juggling here, tennis balls, baseball. So it's nice. You got a little bit of guessing in there. You've got a lot of great vocabulary in here as they rhyme. And then you've got the science in here. The other thing I loved was the really bright colors and just the diversity in the kids. I think this would be great for early elementary.
Okay, yeah.
Kindergarten, first grade. You could use it with preschoolers if more on an individual basis, one-on-one for this one. Or if you just wanted to read a couple of pages, and go through. But I thought they did a really nice job on this because I haven't seen anything like this.
I haven't either.
And just that they go through like how the ball actually works, the history, and they talk about like the texture of a basketball, the way that it's textured helps keep the ball in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say basketballs used to be brown, but in 1958, one basketball coach decided he wanted a ball that would be easier to see for players and fans. He chose orange, and everyone loved it. So just those little
funny.
historical factors in there, too, about when they were developed. There's a beach ball, a yoga ball. I mean, a kin ball. I didn't know what this is.
That looks so fun.
It's about as tall as a hockey net, 4 feet tall, but only as heavy as a pineapple at just 2.2 pounds. That doesn't make it easy to throw, though. And then what did they have? Oh, they had a Zorb where you go into, and then they show this at the end where there's a party going on. But at the back, they talk all about the science of balls. And yeah, the world's best ball trivia, it says. So I just thought it was a lot of fun. I think for your kiddos that are into sports too and using different balls and liking to play different sports, that they will kind of maybe get into this a little bit and realizing that there's science behind it.
Yeah.
Too. So yeah, I thought it was really a fun one. Haven't seen anything like this. What was your take on it?
The same. Yeah, I don't think we have any nonfiction books about balls or the science of, how you make different balls for applications. And I love that these were all, for the most, I think they were all man-made. So there is that kind of engineering component. Like what does the ball need to be able to do? How do we design it to do that? I love that there's kind of this ball of yarn that shows up through the whole thing. There's like, and this little...
I didn't even realize that.
Like it's a duck, it's a dog, I don't know. But I've noticed it on every page. And like you, the diversity really jumped out at me. Like the page where it's like wheelchair tennis. I just thought that's so creative.
Yes.
And I thought, again, this would be a great book for elementary. For that reason, that's, like in your classroom, you start really realizing that there's a whole world of people. And, differences, and that's a great thing. And I noticed too that the ball gets bigger with each page.
Yeah.
And at the end, that one page with the ball crawl really confused me. And then I realized, because they say something about like, is there one more, or are we forgetting one more? And then I realized they're talking about the Earth.
Oh,
like you can just see that, like, at least I think that's what they're doing. Because I looked at the page and I'm like, I can't see anything that's like bigger.
Well, and then you can notice the balloon up here too. So there could be a lot of things you can find in the little hot dog balloons. The cake is in a circle. So so you could
the
do
decorations.
A lot.
Golf ball. We haven't talked about that.
No.
Yeah. So I just thought it was great. I love the trivia in the back. So this is a really solid book. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And on the back, if you want to check it out, here's the barcode to scan and lead right to our catalog.
Awesome. So I would like to talk about friendship.
Yes, this is such a cute book.
It's adults even struggle with this. Like, how do I make and keep friends? And you can't start too early, I think, with kids with this. Like, it's like meeting new kids. It's, learning to think about somebody other than yourself. This book does a great guide. And it is nonfiction, but the narrative kind of reads like a storybook. Like you meet these different characters and they give different scenarios, which I think is also important. Because when you talk about, putting somebody else's feelings first, I think it's hard for kids to kind of extrapolate from that, like what that looks like. And this book shows you what that looks like. Friendship isn't just about getting, it's about giving too. It's kind of like a teeter-totter. You each need to do your part or it just isn't fun.
Yes.
So that makes it immediately real. So here they are sharing crayons. one of the first scenarios is with the swing set. Your friend wants to swing and you want to swing, and it's just like, well, maybe I'll let my friend go first and there's a few minutes left over and I can swing. But I love this, like on each page, there's a your turn. What would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
There isn't just one right answer. There are lots of ways to be a good friend. As you read this book, try to think of other ways you might respond. Maybe you have better ideas. So I love that it kind of gets kids thinking.
Right.
There's a scenario with scooters and saying sorry, like when you leave your friend in the dust. Not nice.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
There's a scenario with the last piece of birthday cake.
Yeah.
There's a scenario with the new kid who's just really shy. There's someone who was late and gets like the worst piece of playground equipment, and the other kids, rather than just let her struggle, invite her over to do like a different craft with them. So just really sweet. Here's one about bullying. I thought this page was really good too, where this little kid is being picked on by these older kids, and this is like a bystander situation.
Right.
What do I do if I see this happening?
I thought that was a great example too, because a lot of times kids find themselves in that situation, yet they're afraid of the older kids maybe. So, then what to do. So I thought this was good.
Yeah. In this case, they track down a teacher and wait until she gets the older kids to move along. And then they stick around until the little girl's dad shows up to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
So I love that in this one, they don't confront the kids themselves. Like they know to go get a teacher.
Yeah.
So I just think it really demonstrates helpful behaviors in all of these situations that come up constantly.
Yeah.
What did you think about this one?
I thought this was a good one, and I thought about this in terms of beginning the school year. This would be a great one to read to your kids before they start each school year too, because classroom makeups change each year.
Yeah.
The dynamics of the classroom change. It would be a great one for teachers to read themselves, just to remember what all the kids are going through. I mean,
Totally.
especially for new teachers when they're first in the classroom. I think this would be helpful. And so, I was really impressed with the different scenarios and giving the kids examples. It would be a nice one to read together, parent and child, just before school starts. So I just thought, that would be good. You could do it, teachers can read it at the beginning of school too, and just kind of set the tone of what the expectations are in the classroom too.
Yeah.
I think that would be good. You could possibly read this to like older preschoolers too. You could do it a section at a time.
Yeah.
And so if you did a unit on friendship, you could just, read a couple of pages and a couple of scenarios, or one scenario a day, and work your way through the book. You could also do something about how do you think, and have them draw something about how to be a friend. And that would be a nice little activity, maybe around Valentine's Day too.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you want to be a good friend to your friend?
Yeah.
And so there's some things that you could do with that one, definitely. And I'm sure teachers will have a lot of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And again, all of the books that we've covered today have diversity in them, and this is no different.
Right.
I just think they've done a really good job with presenting that, presenting a modern day classroom.
Yeah. And again, this one is in the nonfiction area, which makes it nice. And you might find some other things if you were in that section too that might be useful if you're either if your child's having an issue or your classroom is having an issue.
Yeah.
That would be a good section to go to. It's 302.34 is the area.
Yeah.
So
little Dewey Decimal for our
Yeah.
viewers.
Yes.
Great. So here is the code on the back, and you can place a hold and take a look at it yourself.
Yes.
What's next? What's last?
Yes, this is a fun one. Now, this is getting to move around. Sesame Street has come out with another great book, Grover Yoga, Fun and Simple Poses. So, of course, in true Sesame Street fashion, it's nice and bright, lots of white space. The characters pop. So they talk about, hey, everybody, this is your old pal Grover. I'm going to show you some yoga poses. So I could see using this in preschool on up through early elementary, probably
Mhm.
kindergarten, first grade. Then you're probably pushing it after that. But they go through, they give you all the steps so you could do this together. And they go to Be a Mountain, and they give you seated options too,
Mhm.
which I really liked.
Yeah. It's
So
inclusive.
yeah, very inclusive. And then, I like how they do cat and cow, meow and moo. So they really are thinking of kids when they created this,
Yeah.
too. And of course, all the characters from Sesame Street are gonna be a connection for those preschoolers too. And Sparkle Like a Star, just some fun things in here. Be a tree. Um, Try to fly. Um, Take a rest and, downward dog. So nice and short. And this is one where you could do a new one each day. You don't have to read
Mhm.
the whole thing at first. And if it was something that you had in your classroom, maybe you could pull it out and say, okay, what do we feel like doing today? Or maybe have, each child take a turn in picking out the pose of the day, what
Mhm.
they feel like doing. But, yeah, I thought it was a fun beginner one. One we're gonna add probably to our Movement Stars class. That'll be
Awesome.
coming up in can't remember when it is now. I think it's in November or September. One of those. I think it's September. Yeah, just a really fun one, I thought. And I like that they gave you the step-by-step directions.
Yeah.
Even so that I can understand them
I
too.
know, like, how does that go?
So yeah, just a really fun one to do. Fun and Simple Poses is the subtitle on it, and it certainly is. So
Yeah.
they did a nice job on it, I thought. What was your take on it?
I always love, like, a new Sesame Street book,
Yeah.
and this one, I love how big it is. I
Mhm.
love that it's this really durable kind of
Mhm.
board book situation. Um, it's funny, like, we hardly ever see the Muppets with their legs shown,
Yeah.
like, I found like, I was just like, "Grover," like but I love also that, like you say, like, these are familiar characters
Mhm.
to the kids, and there are little, like, almost like a throwback or, like, little hints in there, like, if you have been watching Sesame Street a lot, like, you know, Grover wanting to be cute is a thing. This is a cute and adorable pose.
Mhm. Yeah.
On
Mhm.
the page with Bert and Ernie, I love that he's got a pigeon,
Mhm.
because Bert, of course, is fascinated with pigeons. I
Yeah.
love that we've got Oscar the Grouch over here.
I'd be a rotten apple tree. I just started laughing at that one.
I know.
Um,
So great.
mhm. Yeah, they kept all the characters in their typical
Yeah.
character form, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like you, I like that it's broken down into really simple steps
Mhm.
and yeah, like you could do one a
Mhm.
day and just kind of work on like getting that down before you move on to
Right.
another one.
And if you're new to yoga yourself as a teacher or
Right.
a parent, you got, okay, well, I've got these.
Let Grover help you.
Yeah, let Grover help you with the directions. And so, yeah, just a fun one.
Yeah.
Um,
I love
I-
that. It's so encouraging. Great job.
yeah.
All the yoga poses I can't do a Grover voice. It'll
Yeah.
like ruin my
Yeah.
throat. But all the yoga poses you have done can make your body stronger and your mind calmer. Say a big thank you to yourself for helping you feel great.
And I do
So it's
like
just
that
cute.
message.
Yeah.
You can make yourself feel better by moving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a great thing to remember. So, yes.
Oh, so great.
Yep, lots of fun. So, again, on the back here is the code to put a hold on it or check
Mhm.
it out. And yes, thank you for another fun set of books.
Oh,
This is a lot of fun.
yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed these a lot.
Mm-hmm. So, that's another end to another picture book chat. So thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Picture Book Chat. If you enjoyed this discussion, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. We'll be back next month, and until then, happy reading with the children in your life.